Hey team, so today's topic I wanted to go over a question I was asked recently, and that was what are my thoughts on self-powered curved treadmills, and are curved treadmills better than regular treadmills? I think a curved treadmill is without question a much better option in terms of you're burning far more calories because you generate the power for that particular treadmill to work. So curved treadmills will definitely challenge you as opposed to a regular treadmill because regular treadmills operates on its own. We set the pace and we just run the effort. But I've trained on curved treadmills as well, and I think that anybody that's trying to get to the next level in the running should consider training on a curved treadmill and to see and experience what it feels like. Again, running on treadmills, for a lot of athletes, they feel like running on treadmills is less of an effort as opposed to running outdoors. Some of the world's top distance running athletes, both middle distance runners to long distance runners, train on treadmills, and curved treadmills is one way of mixing up your preparation to get to the next level. There are a lot of times where you're going to be training in winter conditions where there's far too much snow on the roads or too much ice, and you have to get on a treadmill to get a legitimate workout in. You're in, say you're down in Mexico, or you're in a hot and humid climate where you know your paces per mile or paces per kilometer are going to be drastically affected if you go outdoors and try to run a tempo run in 100-degree weather. So sometimes it's just a smart move on your part to get on a curved treadmill or on a regular treadmill and to get that legitimate workout that you were aiming for in. You want to make sure that you're hitting your splits. You want to also make sure that if you plan on running on a regular treadmill, definitely put the incline on 0.5% or 1% incline so that you match running outdoors. Are curved treadmills better? I think a curved treadmill, definitely, if you have access to one, will help you not only will help with your leg turnover. It's going to obviously it's much more difficult to run on a curved treadmill rather than a regular treadmill because, again, you're the one that's powering a curved treadmill. So you might have to adjust the duration that you were planning on running on a curved treadmill versus on a regular treadmill, because again, a regular treadmill is going to operate off electricity. The curved treadmill is going to be operating off of the athlete. So I think that a curved treadmill is better in the fact that it's going to be more of a challenge to the athlete. It's going to get you outside of your comfort zone. And when I'm asked this question, what are your thoughts on it? I definitely think that experimenting with different types of training will help you get to the next level in your racing and in your preparation. A lot of athletes don't often spend too much time training on curved treadmills as it is, and a lot of times we don't have access to them. But if you purchase a curved treadmill, definitely there's plenty of options. I'll leave a few down below this video if you want to check those out. You can they are costly, but that being said, they don't break down. You don't have the maintenance issues as you would have with a regular treadmill, because again, we're the ones that are powering those particular machines. Again, there's so many different ways to get to the next level with racing. Whether you're training for the mile or you're training for the marathon, you always want to focus on how can I use leverage? How can I get better results by training and doing less? We're always focused on higher mileage and running at faster paces, but what if there's a way to get better results by running less mileage but more quality mileage? Okay, so always be thinking about that, and curved treadmills is just one of many ways to drop significant time off of your current personal best. Always focus on your leg speed. Always focus on your speed development. Get out of your comfort zone. Okay, when you're running on a curved treadmill, again, you're powering that machine, so you dictate how fast you're going to be running. The only downsides with curved treadmills is, again, you don't really you don't know the exact pace you're running at. I know there's some curved treadmills out there that will give you the overall paces that you're running at, but a lot of times curved treadmills versus regular treadmills don't have those particular capabilities. They don't show the paces that you're running at. So you're going off of effort, you're going off of feel. and going off your heart rate. So again, I always recommend heart rate monitor training. I use the Garmin 245 myself, so if you want to check that out, there's a link below this video to look over what the Garmin 245 does. For me personally, it helps me stay in the correct heart rate zones for, whether I'm running easy, tempo effort, threshold effort, or running at long, if I'm doing a longer, faster paced long run on the treadmill. I want to make sure that my heart rate is right around 85 to 89% of my maximum heart rate when I'm doing those anaerobic threshold, those tempo runs on treadmills. And again, running on a curved treadmill, because it's curved and because it's also you're powering it yourself, your heart rate's going to skyrocket. It's going to be much more difficult to run on a curved treadmill as opposed to running on a regular treadmill. And again, that's a good thing. That can definitely be a good thing, because again, you want to get out of your comfort zone. You want to make sure you're training sufficiently at a high enough heart rate and for a long enough period of time that you train your body to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up. You want to improve the body's lactate tolerance. Okay, there are plenty of resources on RunDreamAchieve.com that I've created. I've running courses, whether you're trying to break a 2:30 marathon, 3:30 marathon, sub 4, sub 5 hour marathon. I also have courses for athletes that are trying to break the 2-hour half marathon, as well as the 1 hour and 30-minute half marathon barrier, as well as training plans that range from anywhere from 8 to 24 weeks in length. I think it's very important to focus on a longer buildup rather than a shorter buildup. Okay, when you're training on treadmills, which I think every athlete should add into their training preparation at least once or every other week. Get on a treadmill and do a tempo run, do a long run, especially if the weather outside is not cooperating. Okay, you're not running any less if you're running a treadmill versus running outside. Okay, the only thing is there's no wind resistance when you're running on a curved treadmill or a regular treadmill indoors. So you want to make sure that you have some kind of incline on the treadmill so that it matches outdoor running, and that's right around 1%. A lot of times too, you'll have, I spent several years too running with 0% incline. Okay, I was really just focused on the effort. I was focused on running a specific amount of mileage or kilometers or per mile pace on a treadmill, and there were times I was at 0%. There were other times I was at 1%. So, and again, you can adjust, especially on a regular treadmill, but on a curved treadmill, my thoughts are you're going to have your hands full, because again, you don't have the option to incline, to go on an incline, but then again, you're doing so much more work on a curved treadmill versus running on a regular treadmill because you're powering it yourself. So it's much easier to run on a regular treadmill versus a curved treadmill. So those are my thoughts on this particular topic. Great question. I hope this answers your question. The individual that reached out to me and left a comment below the video and asked, what are my thoughts on curved treadmills, and are curved treadmills better? In my opinion, I think they are better in the fact that they force us to propel ourselves and to power the machine, as opposed to just setting on a regular treadmill and setting the pace and just going ourselves. Pros and cons, like I said, there's pros and cons to both the curved treadmill as well as the regular treadmill. But I do think if you get the experience to spend some time training on a curved treadmill, it's going to help make you a better middle to long distance runner. So definitely check out the resources below all my videos. They're there to help take you to the next level. And I hope that these running tips in all of my videos are helpful in some way to help you get to the next level when you're racing. And definitely reach out to me. Leave me a comment. What are your thoughts on curved treadmills? Have you yourself trained on them yourself? And what did you think about it? I'd look forward to hearing that. So I will talk to you all in the next video, and I wish you all the best in your training and racing.